John here with Mr. Proactive. Now there are a number of things in your bathroom that can leak or otherwise go wrong. And so we've developed this really quick checklist that you can do every month to stay on top of things. First thing you do is take the lid or cover off your toilet tank. And then you want to observe the water level in relation to this overfill pipe. That's really all you're doing, is just observing the water level, because what we're going to do is flush the toilet and see if it returns to that same spot, and that'll give us a clue about something, which I'll describe in a moment. Now while that's refilling, you can turn your attention to your sink, turn on the hot and cold water, and check around the fixture for any signs of moisture, and then go underneath the sink to check the supply lines. We have a hot water supply line, a cold water line, and you just want to see if any of that's wet or if there's any signs of prior moisture. It kind of looks like there's a little bit of a shadow or ring from maybe an old leak, but nothing's leaking now. Also check the P-trap, which is the drain, to see if that's leaking. Now that all checks out, and so we're going to go ahead and turn the water off and then turn our attention to the electrical outlet. Because in any bathroom, kitchen, garage, or exterior where the outlet's near water, they should be GFCI protected. That stands for ground fault circuit interrupter. Now, most of them are going to have two buttons on it. One's test, one's reset. You want to hit those, test, and then reset. In this case, this outlet is protected upstream by the GFCI receptacle in the master bathroom. It's not at all uncommon, so we need a little tester like this to test this one. You can see it's got power now, and it did trip. So to reset that, I'll have to go to the master bathroom, which I'll do later. But let's go ahead and turn our attention back to the toilet now that it's finished refilling, and check to see if it came back to the same spot. Okay, it sure did. It just went right back to that same level. And so we know what that teaches us is that this supply valve is not leaking. If that water is a little bit lower now, that means some water was leaking in since the last time it was flushed, and this might need to be replaced. Now the next thing we're going to test is the flapper. Now the flapper, the best way to test that is to put a couple drops of food coloring into the tank itself, and don't flush it, just give it 5 or 10 minutes. If any of that blue color makes its way down into the bowl, you know you've got a leaky flapper. Now those are really easy to replace, but it just might tell you it's time. So we can go ahead and put the cover back on this. And there's two more things you check on your toilet. Just like in your sink, you want to observe the supply line, which is way down here. It's got a valve. Again, you're seeing if it's wet. You're seeing if there's any sign of water damage. And then there's a quick way to test to see if your toilet is bolted down well. And that's to put your leg next to it and give it a little nudge on either side. That way you're not having to grab your toilet and move it by hand. That shouldn't move at all. If it is wobbly, you can tighten down your flange bolts here on either side. If it's really bad, you might have to replace the wax ring. Now the very last thing you can do here is if it's a guest bathroom and the shower doesn't get used a lot, you'll want to turn the shower on, let it run, check that fixture for leaks, and that also accomplishes something, which is to refill the trap in the shower, which can also dry out and allow sewer gases in. So once that's done, all you got to do is give the toilet a little time and check the bowl to see if any of that blue dye or food coloring made it into the bowl. Okay, thank you very much.